Okay. So good morning. It's morning where we are in Toronto. I'm in Toronto. My name is Nisha. I'm the Self-Love Maven. I'm super excited to have you here, and I'm here with the amazing Joan Nwosu. She's a conscious love guide. And we are so excited that you are here on a Saturday morning, afternoon, and we're both really passionate about becoming the one who attracts healthy love. And so we're just really happy to have you here. Um, Feel free to engage in the chat. We encourage that. We have a nice group here today, but we are gonna keep you muted just to avoid any background noise. But just know, feel free to put comments in the chat. I'm gonna start off and share some information with you, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Joan, and she's gonna share. She's gonna talk about um, how you're energetically wired for love. And then we're going to open it up for insights and questions. So there will be time for that. And then we'll close. We have 90 minutes together. So we just want to make sure that we're, giving you as much goodness as we can. So you walk away with what you came here to learn and understand and how to become the one that attracts healthy love. So I'm going to get right into it and share my screen. If you can't see something, um, please feel free to let me know, or Joan, let me know, because I think I can see you all off to the side. Um, okay, so now I can see everyone off to the side. Can you see that? And is it distracting?
No, it's good.
It's good? Okay. Amazing. So welcome. This is a self-love masterclass. Welcome to the Become the One Who Attracts Healthy Love. So this is a masterclass for high-achieving women. We're all high-achieving women. I am Nisha Goyal, your self-love expert and coach, and I'm here with my good friend Joan Nwosu, conscious love architect and expert on human design. So I just want to give you a bit more about me. Some of you know me, some of you don't. There's a lot, but this is me in my corporate garb, right? My high achieving type A garb. I spent most of my life alone, as in without partnership, not by accident, but by assignment. This was what my soul chose. Healthy love wasn't ever safe to me. It wasn't modeled for me. And it wasn't consistent for me in my life. I learned that love was temporary, it was conditional, and it was not safe. And so I became hyper independent and I learned to do everything on my own. We're not born hyper independent. We don't come out of the womb that way as babies. It's a survival pattern that a lot of us learn through our upbringing and our life experiences. And kind of behind the strength, I'm a very strong person, was a lot of pain, a lot of excruciating loneliness, numbing, disconnection. I drank, I ate my feelings, I took pills, like I've scrolled till I'm blue in the face, I've numbed, I did it all. And I just hit a point where I got tired of feeling like I was surviving. I burnt out for a decade. I couldn't walk my dog across the street. My relationships were a mess. And I had a voice in my head that kept telling me I wasn't good enough. And I just got sick of it. And I realized that I had to start doing the work on myself. I had to do something to quiet that record in my head. And, I'm simplifying this, but, I've become her. I've become that woman that I wanted to be, that's ready for that healthy love, that is complete as she is. I'm not perfect. My life isn't perfect. I'm not happy and bouncy every minute of the day, but I know how to love myself through it. And that's why I'm really passionate about showing you how to do this, because I have mastered the relationship I have with myself. And with that has come a lot of negativity. And on the flip side, there's a lot of good, right? Because life happens to us all. And so that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this with you, because I truly believe that the most important relationship that you have is the one that you have with yourself, right? We can divorce somebody else. Just putting my timer on. We can divorce somebody else, but the relationship we have with ourselves is a lifelong courtship, and there is no option for divorce. Can't get away. Why is my screen not advancing? So, I didn't just heal, I rebuilt who I was and I became her. And now it's my honor to guide women through this shift. And it really is an identity shift. And you're going from being hyper independent and alone to open and grounded and ready for healthy love, right? Healthy is the operative word. So now I just want us to do a check-in. Okay, so I can't really see the chat. I somehow lost the chat. But so Joan is watching out for that. But if self-love were relationship status, let's be honest, most of us have ghosted ourselves, right? What would your status be today? Put it in the chat. A, it's complicated. B, I'm working on it. Or C, I'm fully committed. And let's see what we have. Joan, I'm going to ask you to. Oh,
C. Okay.
C. Okay.
A, complicated.
Okay. Okay.
B, I'm working on it. C.
Good. I like it. Okay. So, we've got a mixed bag here, right? And wherever you are, it's perfect. So I want you to continue to reflect, right? So we're just going to take a minute or two. And I want you to answer this question. If you have a journal in front of you, by all means, feel free to jot something down. If someone treated you the way that you treat yourself right now, would you feel loved? Or would it feel inconsistent, unavailable, confusing, or some other version of that? So just take a minute to ponder that, maybe take some notes and really reflect on that question. Would you feel loved with how you're treating yourself today? And I'll just wait for maybe another 30 seconds. And feel free to put, if you're open to doing that and you're open to sharing, feel free to put your answers in the chat if that's something that you're comfortable with. If it's not, that's okay. Okay. Now, the next question I have for you is I want you to be honest. Do you believe that love is inevitable for you? Or are you feeling uncertain about it? Do you feel that it's going to happen for you? What happens when I ask that question? Or do you think it's something that happens to other women that other women get? And again, I'll give you another maybe 30 seconds to just sort of reflect on that. See, the chat's on fire. I like it.
Hmm.
Okay. So I want to talk to you about self-love and why it matters. And I'll talk more about what self-love is, but why do we care about this? Well, healthy self-love is the prerequisite for healthy romantic love. We're not taught this. You would never go to school. In school, we're taught if we want to take advanced calculus, there's a prerequisite for that, right? We have to take intro calculus or we can't get into advanced calculus. So if we want healthy romantic love, we want to find the right person. We're not taught that. We need to do some inner work and reflection on ourselves. We live in a world that puts a lot of intentionality behind the dating process and the romantic process, as there should be. But in my book, we need to be putting even more intention behind the relationship that we have with ourselves and dating ourselves and getting to know ourselves. Because how can you love another person when you can't feel that for yourself, right? And you don't attract what you want. This was a big one for me. When I first heard this, my jaw dropped. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you normalize and what you expect and who you're being. So if you expect relationships to be hard, they're going to be hard. If you expect, well, I'm always going to be alone, I have to do life alone, it's so hard, that's what you're going to get, right? So we don't attract what we want, we attract what we expect. And why do high achieving women struggle with love? A lot of us learned how to earn love. I know in my experience, I learned early on that if I just did all the right things and I performed and I got good grades and I got the degrees and I got the good job and I did things that I got love. Even in my dating life, I learned to perform, which is why my relationships never worked. And I attracted emotionally unavailable partners because that's what I grew up experiencing. You know, and you build a life where you do everything by yourself. We're high achieving, right? We make the money. We can take care of ourselves. We can do things. We make things happen. We're problem solvers. We get shit done. And it can be really hard to let someone in or to receive. So when someone gives you a compliment and says, "Oh, Joan," or, "Bex, you look so amazing today. I really love that dress." Can you receive that compliment? Can you just say thank you without going, "Oh, well, it's got wrinkles on it," or this thing? Like, can you receive that? Can you just say thank you and zip it and really, really internalize that compliment and be like, "Thank you." I never used to be able to do that. And now I literally say, "Thank you so much. I'll receive that." You know how to succeed, but no one showed you how to feel safe and love. A lot of us are up in our heads, we're in our masculine energy because we need to do things and we need that energy to take action, inspired action. It's not a bad thing. But we're also feminine beings. And so we need safety. And if we don't feel safe and protected, it's hard. It's hard to let your guard down. It's hard to stop being the one that needs to control things and make things happen. And so these are some of the common things that I've seen in my own experience and with clients around why high achieving women, why this is a challenge. And so now I want to talk about self-love because it's this huge topic, right? We know what romantic love is, but what is self-love? Well, what it's not, I'm going to start with what it's not. It's not spa days, it's not selfish, and it's not easy. Now, you're probably thinking, Nisha, well, but if I take myself to the spa, I'm loving myself, right? Yes, but what I really want to drive home is it's not just about that. We've been taught as women that our worth lies in what we do for other people. We're conditioned for it. Let's overgive, let's make it all about everybody else. And so it's hard to take time for yourself, to stop doing things, and you feel selfish. It is not selfish to take care of your well-being. It's actually how you were designed. So when you are taking care of your well-being and truly, truly living your best life, what you can give to the outside world and your relationships and your friendships and your career is so much abundant. So you're actually doing a disservice by not taking care of yourself. And it's not easy, right? This is not easy work. It's easy to love ourselves and give ourselves a pat on the back when something great happens. And we should do that. But self-love is about what happens when you're not feeling great. What is it? These are examples. It's setting boundaries. It's speaking your truth. It's regulating your nervous system. It's choosing you every single day, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. So when someone asks you to do something and you're exhausted and you really want to say no, can you say no? and just let it be? Do you have to over explain? I grew up in a house where I was not allowed to express my emotions. Nice girls don't get mad. I couldn't get angry. And I kept it in and I just took it and I kept giving and giving. And then what happened? I burnt out and I completely exploded at every person in my life that was close to me because I wasn't honoring the voice inside me that said, this is not right. I wasn't listening to that inner conversation and honoring what my body was telling me and my mind. So it's choosing you and putting you first every day. And when you do that, you can give more in your life. But we've been conditioned to believe that we need to give to everyone else first and then put ourselves last. And this is really important. So when I said self-love is not easy, it's not about how you feel about yourself on a good day. It's how you show up for yourself on a hard one. So when you're having a bad day or you made a mistake or something didn't work out the way you wanted it to, what's that inner conversation? What are you saying to yourself? Like, I'm such a failure. I'm so stupid. What do you say after the words, I am? So this is about starting to pay attention to the words that you use to describe yourself and to what you're saying. If you're tired and you just want to lie in bed, but you have a whole laundry list of things to do, I'll tell you right now, my kitchen is full of dishes. I used to let that bug me. Now I'm like, it's okay. I'm doing the best I can. I'll do them later. I'm doing the best I can. That's my grace mantra every day. So that's what self-love is. It's honoring yourself every moment of every day, even when you're in a bad emotional state and you want to eat your feelings. Still happens to me. But it's not about toxic positivity, right? We're not trying to fake it all the time. And so I want to talk to you about the pillars of building a healthy relationship with yourself because we're not taught this. And I just want to break these terms down for you in a really simple format. So there are four pillars to building a healthy relationship with yourself. And we hear a lot of words thrown around, right? Like self-love, self-trust, self-worth, self-care. What do they all mean? Well, self-love, it's how do I treat myself? If I want to lie in bed, do I say, oh man, I should get up? I don't want to. You're so lazy, Nisha. Or do I say, it's okay for me to rest today? I'm doing the best I can. Self-worth is what do I believe about myself? That impacts how you treat yourself. Do you believe that love is going to happen for you? Do you believe that you're worthy of it? Do you believe that you can have the life you want? What do you believe about yourself? What are you telling yourself? A belief is a thought you just say over and over. That's all it is. But those beliefs form stories and they form this identity, right? Of like, I'm alone. I'm always alone. I'm always going to be alone. There's nobody out there for me. Relationships are hard. I'm a failure at relationships. That was a big one for me. I don't do relationships well. I'm not good at it. Self-trust is, can I rely on myself? That's really important. If you can't rely on yourself, how are you going to build trust with another person? Can you rely on your own word? Do you follow through with what you say you're going to do? I'm going to go to the gym today, or I'm going to journal for 10 minutes today. Do you do that? Okay, so can you rely on yourself to show up for yourself? And then self-care is really about the actions that we take to support ourselves. Okay, so self-care is important. That's where the spa day comes in. That's really important, right? So it is a part of self-love, but it's really about understanding what's happening in our mind and our thoughts and our feelings and our stories. So these are the four things that we need to master in order to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. So what does unhealthy self-love look like? So generally, these are some examples. It's not the same for everyone, but for a lot of high achieving women, we're always doing things for other people. We give too much even when we're tired. So when the body says no, we keep going. Or we just do everything on our own and we don't ask for help. We don't receive. Can you ask for help? Or do you feel guilty? We push through the exhaustion. I did this I was burnt out for 10 years. I was the queen of this. I know I'm a strong person naturally, and it's something I take pride in, but I have to balance it. And we call it being strong, but honestly, we're abandoning anything you're doing that is not in line with the highest version of you, and what you really want is self-abandonment. It's the killer of our dreams, really. So that's what unhealthy self-love looks like. So you don't have a love problem, you have a relationship with yourself problem. That's what we're really talking about here. Obviously, we want to attract healthy love, but what Joan and I are talking about is the relationship with yourself. That's the one, the first and foremost that matters on a daily basis, right? Is taking care of your thoughts, your feelings, your well-being. Because when you do that and you heal and you come from wholeness, your vibration increases and the universe is going to deliver you an energetic match for that vibration. When you're not and you're smack talking yourself, your inner critic is getting the better of you, you're pushing too hard, you're exhausted, you're stuck in your head, there's nobody out there for me, I'm a failure, whatever your inner dialogue is, your vibration is way down here. So, in the past, that's why we attract people that are mirrors for where we are. I was emotionally unavailable, so I continually attracted emotionally unavailable relationships until I started to heal and really do the inner work. That's when I started to attract the type of person that I want. So how do you do self-love? It's a big thing. So I have 3 pillars in my process that I teach. And these are the 3 C's of self-love: commitment, consistency, and congruence. And it's not something we do in 30 minutes. This is a daily process, right? Self-love is a practice. The first step is a commitment where I say yes to me. We are very good at intentionally going through the process to love, honor, and cherish another. We do that. We make a commitment. There's a party, there's a wedding, there's a white dress. But what about the commitment to yourself? I have my clients literally sign a contract that says, I'm going to love, honor, and cherish myself and put that intention out there. The second, because really, once you make that shift and you understand that it starts with you and it's not up to somebody else to be our emotional Advil, it's up to us to support ourselves and take care of ourselves and honor ourselves. And obviously, we want a partner that's going to do that, but it first starts with you. When you make that decision, it changes everything. Second step is consistency. And this is where you're saying to yourself, I show up for me. This is where the work happens. It's easy to say I'm gonna say yes to myself, but on a daily basis, are you showing up for yourself? Are you doing the work? Are you looking at your thoughts? Are you engaging in a process of self-discovery? Do you understand why you're angry? Why am I mad? Why did this happen to me? I'm having a bad day. How do I handle this? Right? There's a whole slew of things we can do in this phase, and it's never really done, but it's a daily practice of consistently showing up for yourself, even on the days where showing up for yourself might just be putting on your pants. Like I've had days where I put on my pants, my polka dot blue pants, and I take my dog out for like a quick pee, and she doesn't get more than 10 minutes. Because on that day, that's what showing up for myself looked like, right? Other days, can be like you're in a red blazer and you're killing it, right? So it's just showing up for yourself and under honoring yourself wherever you are, because we're not about being perfect. That doesn't exist. We're not about being happy every minute of every day. That's not reality. But it's how do we honor those emotions, acknowledge them, and feel them and move through them, and then continually choose a better feeling thought so we can raise that vibration. Congruence is the third step. So congruence just says who I am on the inside matches who I am on the outside. What I'm showing people on the outside, the way that I'm being. Who am I being? Am I being a woman that has a high vibration, that has the love, that is ready to attract that person? Am I being love, or am I operating out of fear? And this is another big step. And it's not just about love, it's about your life, your friendships. Who are you spending time with? What activities are you doing? All of these things, the work you do, everything contributes to you becoming her, right? Because when you're doing things that you like, when you're spending time with people that you like, when you're doing work that you like, Marilyn was talking about going cross country skiing to get through the winter, and Bex is agreeing with me. There's a heart on the screen. When you're doing things that you like and you're in alignment with yourself, like you're not saying yes to things you don't want to do. You know how to say no. You start to live in congruence because you're like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to say yes to that. I'm not doing that. That's not okay with me. So we commit, we show up for ourselves consistently, and over time we build congruence. So the shift that needs to happen is going from being self-held to self-loved. Self-held is like we've held ourselves together, right? Like we've done life alone, we've made things happen, we can do it all. But we need to get to a point where we can still be that person, but be more authentically ourselves and really do it from a place of like, I love myself and I choose myself and I accept myself. And your identity is who you believe you are. It's not a label, it's the thoughts and the stories and the beliefs that you live from every day. So if you're in this, I became hyper independent because of the experiences and the traumas that happened in my life, grief, loss, all the things. So my identity for a long time was I'm alone and it's hard. Everything was hard. Dating was hard, working was hard, making money was hard, friendships were hard. Like, can you feel my energy? Like, I'm gonna mute everybody. Um, so I was operating from this, I'm alone and it's hard, and I have to do everything by myself. So what do you think I got when I was constantly in that space? I'm alone and it's hard. And it's not to say that there aren't things in life that's hard. It's not to say that there aren't times where you're alone, but the more connected you are to yourself, I don't feel lonely. I'm more in solitude because I've found belonging internally. So this really is an identity shift. It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming the most authentic version of you and operating and attracting love from wholeness. Whoops. So, like I said, it's not about doing more, it's about becoming her, and it's about becoming the version of you who lives as if she already has it, the most authentic version of you. So, the contrast, and I'm just belaboring this point, these are examples. This might look slightly different from you for you, but self-held for, I'll do it myself. I don't need anyone. You're over functioning, you're overperforming, you're closed to receiving, which means you can't accept a compliment without feeling guilty, or you don't know how, or you feel like you have to do everything by yourself. To self-loved, where just try to move, the pictures are in the way here. I see your faces, where you receive support. You trust yourself, you have standards, and you feel safe in your own body, right? That's the contrast. So your independence has protected you, but it's also keeping love out. So it's really about, again, operating from a place of wholeness and internal self-worth. So how do you do that? How do you make this identity shift, Nisha? It's not as easy as I'm making it sound, but I want you to ask yourself this question. Who am I being right now in love and in my life? Am I operating from protection or openness? Like, who are you being? What are the stories you're telling yourself? What are the thoughts that keep going around in your head? Like, I would say I'm alone and it's hard. I have to do everything by myself. I had trust issues with men, right? Like, what is happening for you? Who are you being? What's coming up? Are you being that woman? And then shifting to who is the woman who already has the love I desire? This is the identity shift that needs to happen. So if you imagine her, who is she? Step into that version of her. What is her inner dialogue like? Is she saying I'm not good enough? Probably not. How does she dress? How does she view rest? Does she feel guilty resting? Probably not. How does she view time? I don't know about you, but I create time in my world. In my world, there are no failures, only opportunities and lessons. So who is she? How does she take care of herself? How does she greet other people? Does she read personal development books, right? Like, who is that version? And then it's about slowly doing the inner work to become her. And this is still you. This is not about becoming a fake version of you. It's about becoming an authentic version of you. Okay. And this is where most women get stuck, right? Because we see it, we understand it, but we don't know how to change it. Because it's really hard to just think your way to a new identity. You also need to embody it. And so I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop my share, and that was what I wanted to share with you. I don't know where my time was at. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. I'm a star. And so I'm going to go back and read the chat. I lost the chat when I shared the screen. We're still learning the tech, but um, makes a lot of sense, Nisha. I like it. You attract what you're energetically aligned with. Hot dang, I love that. I see some hearts. Healthy balance. Bex wants healthy balance. That's what it's about, right? We don't want to feel uncertain. You can get love, but it needs to be a healthy version. Okay, great. So I love all of this. I'm going to continue to read through the chat. And that was what I want to share. I'm going to come back kind of towards the end of our conversation just to kind of share next steps. But I want to pass it over to the amazing Joan. Joan is a conscious love guide, and she is going to show you this is mind blowing stuff. She's going to show you how you're energetically wired for love. This really, really opened up a lot of doors for me when I learned this information. And so you want to pay really close attention to what she's saying. So, Joan, without further ado, over to you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Just want to make sure that it's sharing. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Oh,
We can see your face.
I don't even see the screen. Hang on. Okay, there we go.
Yep, you're good now.
Awesome. So thank you, Nisha, and welcome everyone again. So I want to take it from the human design lens. And if you haven't heard about human design, like Nisha said, I was mind blown when I found out about human design. And so Nisha has talked about self-love in the practical way and how we experience it or how we can start to understand how we can embody some of the self-love and be able to attract love from there. But I want to take it a little bit deeper with human design. So if we say that self-love is our intention, then human design is your roadmap of how to actually get it. So this is about knowing the real you, not the version of you that you've been living with, not the conditioned version, not the one that social media said, the one that your parents said, your culture, religion, whatever it is. It's not about that. This is now about who you truly are and how you can love yourself from that. So let's jump in. So Nisha also mentioned some of the problems that we see with a lot of high achieving women when it comes to love, and very similar to my own experience as well, working with high achieving women who are trying to find aligned love. So you might have done the healing. I've been healing for 7 years, and 2 days, 3 days ago now, I got back from Colombia where I went and sat with ayahuasca. I was telling Donna about it yesterday as well. And I thought I had done my healing. I thought I'm going to go sit with the grandmother of all medicines and I'm gonna be good because come on, 7 years I've been healing. No, the purge was real. And it just showed me again that there is still a lot of healing. Healing is a journey, it's not a destination, it's an ongoing process, but you have to be intentional, you have to be consistent, and you have to keep doing it. You can't just go back. You have to keep moving forward, or else it doesn't work. You will keep still attracted exactly the same people. So if you're one of the people who say, but I've been healing, but I've been doing the work, I've been showing up, and you're still attracting the same men, there's more work to be done. And another thing that I see a lot of is you might be successful in every area of your life. So it could be in business, it could be in career, it could be raising your kids, right? Managing big portfolios, managing people. But when it comes to love, it's just like, what the hell? And then, of course, we blame the dating apps. We blame there are no good men out there. All the good ones are taken. Oh, I'm too good for everyone. Oh, I can do it all by myself. But that's not true. It's just a struggle. And I'm hoping that today we can start to uncover why you might be successful in other areas of your life. But when it comes to love, it's still where it's at. And then Nisha also touched on this about just being the strong one. Like we've been the strong one for so long. We've held it all together. We've held our families, our friends, our businesses. We're the people that everyone leans on, but then we have no one to lean on. And it's like, I'm just tired. Why can't I just find someone to lessen this load, someone to help me, someone to share and do life with me? I know this for a fact. You're not looking for perfect. You're just tired of the almost, nearly, should have been, could have been, compromise, all of that stuff that we see in the dating world today. So today we're going to be looking at some of those things. But before I go into human design, just a little bit about my own story. So my story is the exact opposite of Nisha's story, where I have constantly been in relationships since I was 12 years old. This period is the longest I've been single, which is a year and a half now, but I had never been single for 6 months since I was 12. This photo of the wedding dress was my wedding day. My wedding dress split from just before they said, come to the altar to come and say your vows. My dress split from the top to the bottom. Like they had to rally around me with shawls. And I was like, universe, like, oh my God, how much more of a sign is this that I should say no? But of course I didn't. I went up there and I said, I do. And I knew right away this was a mistake, but I did it anyway. So being married once, being engaged 8 different times to 8 different men, 8 different versions of me trying to make it work because I just kept thinking, okay, maybe if I showed up differently for this man, it would work out. And everyone would look at me and be like, oh my God, but Joan, your life is so great because my career was booming. I could switch jobs, switch careers, and everything was fine. I was great. I was this bubbly person on the outside. I was always in relationships, but people thought she must have the secret magic secret to why how to get relationships because I was always engaged. But none of them were healthy love, at least not what I understand healthy love to be today. And so every time a relationship will end, I'll be like, what is wrong with me? Like it has to be me, like they always say, right? One time, okay, maybe it's them. 2 times, we can still excuse it. 8 times, no, you have a problem. And so I sat with that. I had to be the problem. And I kept trying to fix me, trying to fix me, but it still wasn't working. But eventually, I realized that it wasn't that I was broken. I wasn't broken. The problem wasn't me per se, it was who I was being. It was because I was being the wrong person, showing up as the wrong person because I was trying to fit into what a version these men wanted of me. I was attracting misaligned people. And that was because I did not know who I was. When human design found me, because you don't find human design finds you when you're ready. it just showed me who I was and I could see who I wasn't. And that just became the whole vein of my whole work. I've been a dating coach for a couple of years now, but when I found human design, that program had to end because I was teaching how to go on dates, how to look, how to be more feminine, what text messages to send, how long to wait before you respond, where to go on dates. But it's not about any of those things. It doesn't mean that those things are wrong, but if you're showing up to those things from the wrong person, one, that's you, with the wrong energy, it's never going to work. And so human design for me is the best tool for you to understand who you are, how you're naturally designed, so that you can love that version of you. Because you could be doing self-love to the wrong version of you, still not going to work. And so human design is my entire system. I've just written a book called The New Love Languages because I found that good old Gary Chapman, he did a good job, but that was still based on what you had to do, what you have to do in a relationship, what you have to do for a partner, learn their language, give words of affirmation. I was with somebody who loved words of affirmation. I cannot give anybody validation in this world. So that therein lied the problem because I had to fake it. I had to try to be somebody else. And again, it still doesn't work because you can pretend for 1, 2, 3 months, but after that, you're like, no, this is exhausting. I'm just going to default to who I am, and then the relationship is over. So my entire work is based on human design. The book is called The New Love Languages, and my program is Becoming the Aligned One, a program, and it shows you how to return to do a factory reset so that you can go back to who you were before the world told you who to be, who your parents told you to be, who social media said you should be, who your friends, who you go to for advice told you, oh, if you just did this, then he would want you and he would propose or he'll marry you. But then you're still left empty. You're still left feeling, who is this? I know when I left my marriage, I didn't even recognize who I was. I was like, who is this person? I had become this shy person who was unsure of herself, who lacked confidence, who was looking to everybody else for validation. That was never me. That was just all of the situationships and misaligned relationships that I had gotten myself into. So that's why human design is my life's work right now. And that's what I hope to be able to show you today, how human design can help transform how you approach loving yourself and also how you approach romantic relationships. Okay, why is this not moving? Okay. So, like I said, human design is not my work, it's not my brainchild. It was channeled actually by Ra Uruhu, who's Canadian. He's late now. And this is what he said about human design when it comes to love, in particular romantic relationships. He said, human design is here to strip away the generalizations that torture us, that we somehow have to be exactly the way Hollywood does it or whatever. Each of us is unique in our capacity for love, and we all have it. The moment you're living out your true nature, your nature, you get to experience your capacity for love. And that's something very, very special. The first time I saw this quote, I was like, that makes a lot of sense because everybody had been telling me how they do love. And even with my clients, and even if I took a poll right now and asked each person what it was you were looking for in love, your answers are all going to be different. No two people have the exact same needs for love. No two people even describe what a healthy or loving relationship is. And so, why are we following this Hollywood Cinderella story? Love should be this way. Somebody said, they said, if he loved me, he would do this. If she loves me, she'll be this way. No, it's about returning to your own unique nature for love. You are uniquely wired for love. And if you don't know what that is, hopefully today you're going to find out how you, in particular, are wired for love so that you can just rest in being that version and be able to attract your aligned love from that. So, human design. So, human design is a complicated system. The first time I saw it, I was like, what in the world gibberish is this stuff? And it's a lot. But when it comes to the part of human design that talks about love, it's a little bit simplified. I also found that there were not too many people doing this, so I created an even simpler version so that you can quickly understand how you are uniquely wired for love. But as an overview, the love gates, there are 10 of them. The love gates govern how we do love. So this is how you attract, how you experience, everything to do with love, how you do love and how love does you. That's what the love gates are. There are two types. They're the transcendent love gates, which are four, and this is love through you connecting to something else. It's usually to a higher purpose. So like for people who love causes, right? People who love just nature, who love being in the world, people who want to connect to spirituality. There are people who are just wired that way for love. And then we have six mundane gates. This is now the romantic love. This is how you love someone else. This is how you show love person to person. And that's really the most important part of the talk today. Mundane love, because we're talking about romantic love today. For everything in human design, there's always two parts. There's the shadow, which is the low vibration, like Nisha was saying. This is all those things at the bottom of the scale of consciousness. And then there's the gift expression, which is where you want to be operating from so that you can attract the aligned partner for you. Because again, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you're being. So the constant question you have to always be asking, am I in the shadow or am I in the gift? If you're attracting the wrong partners, then you're probably still in the shadow. If you're attracting the right partners, then maybe now you're operating from the gift expression of your gate. So knowing this will help you with choosing partners, knowing how to show up, knowing how to give and receive the way that you are designed to, not trying to follow somebody's tactics. Or let me just buy a wonderful gift. Like, wait, gifting is not for you. Just do love the way you are wired to do love, and everything else will fall into place. And it will help you create that safety that we all want. Because one thing that's common in women, especially when they're looking for love, is they want safety. They want safety to be themselves. They want safety to be held. When we're going through all our crises, you want somebody to hold space, to be able to say, I got you, where you don't have to hide any parts of you. It's safe to be you. So, like I said, there are 10 love gates. Today, we're only going to be talking about one, but I'm going to share with you what the 10 gates are. So the gate 10, which is the most special of all the gates because it shows up in both the transcendent and the mundane, and it just happens to be the gate of self-love. So there's the gate 10, which is love and being alive and self-love. We had to have the gate 25. So if you look on the left, those are all the transcendent. Universal love. These are people who just love everybody. Think of Jesus or Buddha, people that just love the whole world and everything within it. Right? Gate 15, loving humanity. These are the people who are constantly fighting for causes. They don't want injustices in the world. They want fairness. They love through fighting for the people. So this is more generic, more universal type of love. So these are the transcendent. And then you have 46, which is loving the body, right? These people really honor their body. They feel like the body is really that temple that we've all read about. And they really, really honor it. They really believe that their love is shown through the body, and through their body, they know what's right for them. And then we have the mundane. So these are the romantic love. So the gate 44 is successful love. These, if you have this gate, it means that for you, love means that we're thriving together. When we come together, we have to be working towards something. We have to be thriving together, or else it's not really love. And then the gate 40, Nisha also mentioned about earning love. I have the gate 40, so I know this very deeply. These are people who overgive. If I just did this, then they'll love me. I did that in my relationships. I gave and gave and transformed their whole lives, still ended up alone. So the overgiver are constantly trying to do, constantly trying to fix. These are people who attract all the fixes, all the projects. I can already see the potential. I'll make his life better. And then at the end of the day, resentment because he doesn't love you because of all you're doing. It's not about doing, it's who you're being, right? Then we have the 58 who is the perfecting love. These are the people who, the men will usually refer to people who have this gate as the nagging ones. Perfecting love just means that you are wired to see flaws in things. So if he made you coffee, oh, why didn't you put, it's too sweet, or you put too much cream in it. Why do you chew that way? Why do you comb your hair that way? It's not because you're complaining, it's because you believe that when you're making a relationship better, making your partner better, it's how you show them love. So you're not consciously trying to just be this nagging person. You're just like, but I can help make it better. But again, there's the shadow side of that, where it feels like you don't appreciate them for anything. You always have a problem with every single thing that they do. So again, it's about understanding the shadow expression and the gift expression, operating from the gift, and you will see that love will start to flow more easily. The gate 41 people dreams of love, constantly in fantasy land. You meet someone today, you're already planning the next 20 years. You've pictured the white picket fence house, the wedding dress, you're calling on your friends like, girl, I just met this guy. He is everything. He's all that. This is it. You only had one phone call. This is it. And so that high of that initial meeting is where you live constantly in this fantasy of what could be, but it's not really who they are. And what happens with people who have gate 41 is very, very quickly, within a couple of weeks or days or hours, it's gone. And you're like, no, 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 oh, no, not for me. No, no. You're chasing the next fantasy. And then you meet the next person a week later, and you're like, oh my God, no, this one is the one. That one, no, not really. No, no, no. No, I made a mistake. This is the one. So constantly, constantly living in this fantasy of what could be. And I blame Disney for all of this because they sold us this Prince Charming in the White Horse and all of that stuff. And so if you have this gate, you're stuck in that fantasy world, constantly hoping that relationships will always be this high, that initial high that you get, but it's not real because it's going to go away. Gate 28 are couples, people who like to build in relationships. You want to be working on a project. You want to be doing something together. If there is silence, if there is peace, it's like, no, what's wrong? What are we not doing? This relationship seems too boring. There's nothing happening. No, 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 no. It can't be it. Because you're constantly looking for, we got to be doing something. We got to be working on something. We got to be arguing. We got drama. Constantly looking for the drama when there doesn't have to be drama. And then the gate 55, which is the final one, is this eternally indecisive love. And it's not that these people don't know how to love, it's just that they never know. And so if you've ever been with a partner who today you're like, do you love me? And he's like, I don't know. That's someone with gate 55. They never really, really know. Their love comes in waves. Today they love you, tomorrow they're not sure, the next day they don't think they want to be in it, and just yada, yada, yada. Emotional waves throughout. So if you have this as well, that's also how you experience love. It's just a roller coaster of emotions that you're never really quite sure. Do I love him? Do I not love him? Where am I? I don't know. Should I go to somebody else? Does this mean I should quit? Constantly questioning, is this love for me? But again, that's the shadow of it. So it's all about understanding for all of these 10 gates. One, which ones do you have? And then two, am I in the shadow or am I in the gift? If you're in the shadow, there are ways to change that and raise your vibration so you're more in the gift. And that way you can attract the love that is aligned for you. When you understand your love gates, everything changes, like everything, because now you're not struggling. It's like you've just come back home to yourself. You're like, oh, this is me. And I've been there struggling, listening to people's advice, telling me to do this. There's nothing to do. You stop chasing, you stop repeating these patterns, you stop trying to be like somebody else, changing your looks, changing your hair, changing the way you speak. Oh, I'm just going to be soft spoken, I'm going to cross my legs. That's not going to work. You get to be you because energy never lies. Everything is energy. And your love gates are how you are energetically wired for love, period. It never changes. It's just either in the shadow or it's in the gift. So the goal is, again, we need to shift to the gift so that we can stop chasing. So like I mentioned, gate 10, which is the most beautiful gate of them all. Again, it's in the transcendent and it's the mundane, and it's all about self-love, self-love. So let's look at what the shadow of the gate 10 looks like. So the shadow of the gate 10, I call the validation addict. So this is where your self-worth depends on somebody else, on being chosen. If they choose me, if somebody chooses me, then it means I'm worthy. So constantly looking for somebody to choose you. And with that, you can imagine now you're performing, you're shape-shifting, you're trying to be a version of you so that you'll be chosen because your self-worth is tied to being chosen. You become super hyper independent or people pleasing, right? Super hyper independence now becomes that ammo where it's like, okay, I'm just going to do me. I don't care, whatever, but that's the shadow. So it's all about understanding or recognizing what are these shadow patterns and which ones are you still living in? Abandoning yourself. Today's all about self-love, but that's one of the key shadows. When you just abandon yourself, I'll just not be me. I won't show these parts of me so that I won't be rejected. Or I won't even put myself out there. I won't go on dates so that I won't be rejected. But that's still the shadow expression. When you're afraid of somebody rejecting you because you haven't chosen yourself. So when somebody rejects you, it hurts you. Like constantly waiting to be chosen before you choose yourself. Choose me, choose me, choose me. Hey, 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 I'm here. Please tell me I'm great. Do I look pretty today? Am I this? Am I that? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? No, that's all seeking validation. That's just this validation addict, which is the shadow expression, trying to find self-love and self-worth through somebody else. So constantly seeking for reassurance, right? Another one that I think is very subtle, this being aloof or being detached. I see that with a lot of my clients who have gate 10. And it's like, I'm not going to date. I'm happily single, right? Because again, you're just like, I'm not going to put myself out there. I'm done. I'm good. But that's not real because we're not wired to be alone. We're all wired for love and it's available to all of us. So gate 10 validation addict is constantly asking, do you love me? Am I enough? Every day in a relationship. Very, very painful because you haven't chosen you because you don't love yourself enough. So a reflection point that I have for you here is where are you still negotiating with your truth for validation? Where are you still trying to be a version that is more palatable, that is more desired rather than being you? And what would it look like for you to love yourself fully, fully, flaws and all, because none of us are perfect. Loving yourself fully, not just parts of you that you think look good to the other person, but truly the parts of you in its totality. And then we have the gift. So the gift is the sovereign self, where you're truly yourself. And what that looks like is you show up authentically without performing. Like there's nothing to prove. I'm me. This is me. And let those who are attracted to me show up and let those who are not see you later. And really being okay with that. Being able to stand in the truth of who you are, not who they want you to be, not who society said you should be, who you are. When you show up, you behave in alignment with your true values. So it's not okay in some situations you're this and no, you're always you. This is what is important to me. This is who I am, and this is how I show up every single day. You're able to be soft, but you're able to set boundaries as well because we're no longer shape-shifting. You're able to choose partnerships from wholeness. It's no longer, oh, come and complete me, come and make me happy, come and do this. The partner should do X, Y, Z. No, it's not about that. You are already whole. So you show up from wholeness. There's no lack. You are whole all by yourself. Your self-worth comes from within. It's not up for negotiation. It's from within. You know who you are. You know your self-worth within yourself. You don't need that external validation anymore. If you get it, fine. But that's not what makes you feel worthy. You accept yourself fully. And I'm going to talk a little bit about acceptance, but you accept yourself fully. I am enough exactly as I am. And from that, your self-love now flows to others. That's how you can now go from self-love to loving other people. It starts with you. So another reflection at this point is, where am I still not showing up authentically? And what would it look like to love from overflow? Not from scarcity, not from come and complete me, but from overflow. So that's the beautiful gift of the gate 10, the self-love gate. So 3 reasons why self-love stays hard. The baggage. We carry these stories about ourselves, our lives. Oh, you don't know what I've been through. Oh, I did this. My parents did this. But he broke my heart. I dated a narcissist. Those labels, those things that we carry, is a load. It's a baggage that we need to put down because baggage only attracts more baggage. Yes, you need to do the healing work, but do the healing work properly and let it go. You can heal and still be attached to those identities that created that version of you. Oh, I'm a this, he's a that. Oh, enough of the stories. It's time to put down the baggage so that you can love yourself. Baggage needs to be set down, right? But again, you have to do the work, check your patterns, get rid of it, heal from it, and then set it down so that you can be free and light. You got to feel your own cup. So this is a scale of consciousness. I don't know if anybody knows about the scale of consciousness, but it just shows all the different energetic vibrational scores. And David Hawkins, he actually put them on the scale. So each has a different score. At the bottom is all the shame, guilt, anger, fear. And this is where a lot of people try to date from. You're still in that, oh my God, my ex did this. On the first date, you're already talking about your ex that was a narcissist. Oh, my parents, oh, this when I was this happened. That's all shame, guilt, anger, and fear. Your cup is not full. And then when you try to date from this, guess what? It's just the same. You're just going to attract exactly the same people because trauma loves trauma. It becomes a trauma bond. You can bond on how your ex was the worst person in the world. And so you have to fill your cup. You have to get to the top. At the top of the scale of consciousness is where we have love, joy, peace. That's where you want to start giving love from. It's from overflow, not from the scarcity, because at the bottom is dark. So the goal is, how do you fill your cup? And this is where self-love comes to play. You're doing the work, you're doing the inner journey, you're healing from all your trauma, you're raising your vibration so that when you step out into the dating world, you're attracting people who are also at this high level of vibration. It's all about love, joy, and peace. I don't know about you, but peace is the most important thing to me right now in my life. It's not a relationship, it's peace. If a relationship wants to take my peace, you gotta go. But it starts with working on yourself. You have to fill your cup first before you try to pour it into anybody else, because you're only going to pour what's at the bottom. The third reason why self-love feels hard are the masks. We wear all this masks, and not just in love, we wear masks all the time. We wear masks at work, wear masks with our friends, we have friends where we're this version to this and this version to that. But sometimes we don't even know that we're wearing this mask. It's just default. You're going on a date. What am I going to show up as? Am I going to be the powerful woman? So I'm sure, like Nisha, when you do your Connect network, is like, I'm going to show up as powerful and successful, right? When you go on a date, it's like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be humble, or I'm going to be soft, I'm going to be the good girl. And then another time, it's like, oh, I'm going to be the nurturer because I have all these kids. I have to show that I'm a great mom. These are all masks. To be able to attract healthy, aligned love, you need to take up all the masks. You need to just be you. Just be you and let your true self attract the people that are aligned to you. Get rid of the masks. The mask is where the performance happens. Oh, let me just show up. Let me wear pink. I heard pink makes me feel soft. What if you don't like pink? You just wear black. If black is you, you just wear black, right? So it's about taking off the masks, not trying to be a version of you that you think will attract a person. No, you just need to be you. So what happens? How do you transition to becoming the one? Because there's no finding the one. There's only you becoming the one. When you become the one, you attract the one. That's it. You cannot find the one. You can only become the one. So what does that look like? And how can you start to become the one? So a lot of talking has happened. So before we go into the next session, I want us to all take a deep breath and just land in your body. Just no more being strong. Soften your shoulders. Soften your face, where all the tension, we hold them in there. Soften your belly. Just really breathe into your belly, through your chest into your belly. Just 3 deep breaths to land and settle in your body. There's no more performance. There's no more needing to be strong. There's no more, I need to do. Now we want to step into being the truth of who you are, who you always were before the world told you who you needed to be. Okay, so I've got 3 little questions for you. And you can just write them in your journal. You don't have to put in the chat. What do you really want? Not the stories that you've told yourself, not what the world says you should want. What do you really want? Not even what you think is possible. No, oh, let's just be realistic. No, we're not looking for that. What do you really desire when it comes to love? Do you want to be chosen without having to earn it? Do you want a partner who shows up consistently, not just when it's convenient? Do you want love that feels safe, where you feel seen, not the one that keeps you second guessing, am I this, am I that? Is he this? Should I do that? Do you want to stop being the strong one? This high achieving, always got it figured out. Do you want to be soft? Do you want to finally be held? What do you want? I'm going to give you 60 seconds to just write down a few points. Okay. Now the second question. And this is about you now. And Nisha kind of touched on this as well. But what do you really believe? What do you believe about yourself when it comes to love, about what you deserve, about whether love is even possible for you? So start with in love, I believe, dot, 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 fill in the blanks. Do you believe you're too much, you're too independent, too successful? No man can handle me, I'm too much drama. I have too much baggage. I'm broken. I'm unlovable. Do you believe that the kind of love that you answered in question one exists for others but not for you? Or do you believe that it really does exist for you and you can get it? Do you believe that you need to shrink yourself? This is another great thing that successful women do. Let me not tell them about all my accomplishments. Let me just pretend like I'm this humble, not so intelligent person. Do you believe that love always comes at a cost? Because a lot of successful women, I don't want a man who's gonna, I'm not gonna trade this. I'm not ready for this. I don't, you think it comes at a cost. What is that cost? And is it true? Because whatever you believe is your identity, and that's what you attract. So, what do you really believe about love for you? Okay. The final question is who do you need to become? Because, like we said, it's not about doing, doing, doing. It's who you need to become. Not who you need to become for a partner, for you. Who do you need to become? What version of you is ready to receive what you actually want? So, in love, I become, is it the woman who stops abandoning herself, who's constantly shape shifting, or the woman who trusts her instincts instead of overriding them? The woman who doesn't chase, who doesn't convince, who doesn't perform, who just shows up authentically. The woman who knows her worth, not because someone chose her, but because she actually knows, not believes, not thinks, not praise, knows. Big difference. So, who do you need to become today to be able to attract the love that you're looking for? It all starts with the becoming, not doing, becoming. Mm. When you're self-sourced, when it comes from within you, you attract differently. I've seen this, my clients have seen this, because again, you stop chasing. There's no performance. You just show up as you. And the right person feels that. They feel it at an energetic level. It's not about physical tactics, scrolling, dating, swipe. It's not about any of those things. You show up in your wholeness. Wholeness attracts wholeness. This is not a concept. This is a law. You attract who you are being. And that's the whole purpose of this work. Who are you being? How are you paying attention to that? What can you improve? What can you do better so that you can be whole and attract a partner is whole? So I went through gate 10. Like I said, there are 10 of these love gates. And the question becomes, so which one are yours? Because you don't have all of them. Some people have zero, some have one, two, three, four, five, seven, nine, 10. I've seen all different types. But you need to know which one are yours so that you can start operating from the exact way that you are naturally wired for love. So how do you get your love gates? How do you know which ones are yours? I'm going to share that at the end. When you get your love gates, what you need to know is first you need to be aware because you're going to see it for the first time like, oh, okay, I have gate 10 or I have this or I have that, I have that. All the gates, it doesn't matter what it is. Self-love is about loving who you are in its totality. So you might have gate 10, you might not have gate 10, but you still need to love your entire design. So the first step is, okay, now I know what my gates are, accept it. You accept it and you start to embody it because these are your love languages. This is how you do love, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. If it's unconscious, then it's shadow. But if it's consciously, then it's the gift expression. So you can just show up as that version of you. You can start embodying, oh, I have the gate 40, I have the 44, I have the 58. What does the gift look like? Oh, how can I embody that daily? And you will see the moment you start doing this work, you start attracting different people. And that's the third piece. Because the more you do it, the more you start attracting from alignment. The more you start making decisions from your design, you're like, oh, I know who I am. That's not for me, right? Dating becomes easier. We hear a lot that dating is hard because you're just dating from you're listening to everybody, or you're just dating without a manual. You don't have the map for how you're supposed to do love. But now you get to see your map. Now you get to see how you're wired for love. And dating becomes easy because one, you're only attracting the right people. And then even from the list of the right people, you can say, nope, that's not for me. Don't want it. Now you get to choose because you've chosen yourself, because you know yourself, you've mastered yourself, you've understood, okay, that's not me. I need to heal from that. That's not my story. That's my parents' story. Like you can now operate from the authentic version of you. Love becomes easy. Dating becomes super, super easy. So this is how you get your report. So the first code here, the QR code, if you want to scan it, is how you download your own gates, your own love gates. It will show you what out of the 10, which ones you have. It would also show you the shadow and the gift of both. And it will give you some reflection points of, okay, how can I transition from the shadow and the gift? The beautiful thing about human design is human design doesn't teach you something that your soul doesn't already know. Like anybody who reads their design, you're like, oh, that's me. There's recognition right away. There's resonance right away. You're just like, oh, okay. Oh, that's why I act that way. Oh, that's why. Oh, now it makes sense. But we've never had a system to show us how we are. We've all been guessing. We've all been doing this trial and error. Let's just do this. Somebody else did that. It worked for them. It worked for this. And we've just been trying. No more trial and error. Now you get to see how you are wired for love. Like I said, I used to be a dating coach teaching just generic tactics. And then I discovered everybody's different. I can't be telling someone who like Nisha, you and I talked about it. She has self-love, gate 10. I don't. We're going to see love differently, right? And my first conversation with Nisha, just a few sentences, I said, Nisha, I suspect you have gate 10. And she's like, I don't know. I don't. I was like, check. And she checked and she had gate 10. I said, it makes sense. So once you know how you're wired, it becomes easy. You're like, that's me. Oh, look, I was trying to do love like someone with gate 44. That's not you. So now you can get access to your own love gate report so that you know how you're wired for love. And then I also have my book, which is not out yet, but you can pre-order it now. And that explains all the 10 love gates. And it also comes with a workbook that will walk you through how you can transition from the shadow to the gift expression of your gate. And if you're a couple as well, it shows you how you and finally, maybe you can have some compassion for your couple. Because I'll tell you one thing that hit me with love gates was the gate 40. So the gate 40 is the provider gate. If you have the gate 40, you are a provider. When I saw that, I was pissed. I was like, why do I have to be the provider? But the world said the man is the provider. Well, guess what? A lot of men don't have it. So now you can start having compassion for a partner because you know that that's not the way they show love. That's not how they're wired for love. And you can now look at their own love gates and be like, oh, so this is how, oh, this is what you have. Oh, and you accept and you love them the way they are wired for love. Not how you're wired, how they are wired for love. So it's such a great tool for couples, for singles. It just helps relationships be better because now it's not this expectation that we got from Hollywood stories. Now it's the truth of who you are and who they are. And then love becomes what it was always meant to be, a mirror for you to expand, for you to be seen, for you to be held, a space for growth, for your evolution. That's what relationships have always been. They are mirrors to show you where you are so that both of you can help each other evolve. That's it. The love gate is the map for how you can start to attract healthy, aligned love going forward. So take a picture, download your love gate, and then you can share it with me. I can geek out on this all day, right? If there's something you don't understand, happy to explain it. We can book a call and just talk through it. Because my goal is to make sure that everybody understands how they're wired for love and love becomes easy. You just do it that way, and you will see that the aligned partners start to show up. Nisha, over to you.
Amazing. I love it. I have to go back to the what Joan was referring to, the conversation we first had when she was like, because I had my chart, but I hadn't I didn't dive into it. She's like, I bet you have gate 10. And then I had this panic moment where I was like, oh my God, if I don't have gate 10, I'm a fraud. Like, when you're like, I'm the self-love maven, I'm passionate about this, and I got there on my own without knowing any of this information. That's why I was like, thank God I put in the chat, thank God I have gate 10, because it's naturally who I am. Like, I legitimately am like, my brain said, it's like my soul and my brain said, okay, Nisha, you need to love yourself first. and and now it's so much easier for me to bring someone in my life. But as I was trying to go out there and date, I always took long periods of time in between my relationships to just be with myself because that's what I needed. And then Joan, I was like, I don't understand how people just go from one relationship to the next. And Joan was like, that's me. And I didn't mean like wasn't trying to be judgy, but I just don't get it because that's not me, right? I'm like, love yourself first, right? So there's something to this. I encourage all of you to do that. That was really, I bought my book, so I'm really excited to get it and dive into it. So thank you so much for that. I'm just going to share my screen one more time and just show you what I have for you. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, amazing. Okay. So just in terms of next steps, right? So we talked about becoming her, right? Becoming this version of you that is attracting love from wholeness. And so I have a relationship pattern assessment. So I've noticed there's specific patterns that high achieving women get stuck in. We're probably operating with multiple ones, right? I'm the strong one, I'm the fixer, I'm the high achiever. We don't usually just have one, or maybe some of us have one. And so for you to kind of understand where you are, there's a free assessment. You can scan the QR code, or you can just go to my website and it'll pop up. So that's free for you, right? It's just 10 quick questions and you can see where you're operating from. So I really encourage you as you go down this path to take advantage of that and just to learn more. And this is all about awareness. This is a process of discovery. So take a picture of that QR code and get the free relationship assessment. And then if you want to go even deeper, I'm offering my infamous identity blueprint session, right? Becoming her, the identity blueprint session. I wish I had this. It's taken me 10 years of like going all over the place and doing the work to really understand this, but I wish I had this roadmap. And so it's a 90-minute session where you can understand your blocks, your patterns, and kind of where you are now. And we're looking at the stories and the beliefs and things and that identity that you're in. So where you are now versus where you want to be. So who's that 10 out of 10 version that we've been talking about, Joan and I, that is attracting from wholeness, where you're like, I'm not perfect, but I'm good enough as I am. So in that session, I work with you and talk to you, and we literally map out, and you will get a roadmap that will take you from this is where I am to this is where I want to be. So they're normally 97 US, but if you use that discount code I have on there, it's 47 US for you today. So you can scan that if that's something that's resonates with you. And if you just want to talk, I've also put a link to my calendar. You're welcome to do that as well. But I encourage you to take advantage of the identity session because it's going to give you an idea of the thought patterns and the things that are happening with you that you might even not be consciously aware of. So, and the last thing that I'm just going to close with, these are my big three, is really for you to know, and this is the work, right? Is that you're good enough, you're worthy, and you're lovable. You really are just exactly as you are. And that's the work, that's the everyday work. The world is going to tell us different, but it's for you to really know that. And I know Joan and I are on the same place with this, is really for you to leave here knowing that. And if you don't feel that, that's okay. It's the work is to get to a point where you genuinely feel like that, maybe not every minute, but you feel it enough that you can attract a healthy relationship. And but first of all, be that for yourself. Okay? That's my wish. And I'm gonna stop the share.
Mhm.
Okay. And so it looks like looking forward to the book release. So Bex is putting something in the chat. A huge part of my journey after divorce is trying to understand what love actually is and revisiting the love languages, which is so outdated. I realized I needed to practice each of the love languages, but direct it at myself. And I would tell anyone who would listen that the book was missing the all-encompassing sixth language. Absolutely. Absolutely, Bex. Um, Oh, amazing. And Bex put something about she has gate 55. I think I read something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know what gate 55 is. Joan would know that, but it's amazing, right? I mean, we're not taught this, and so I think we've all had our journeys to get here, and I will forever die on the hill that you need to love yourself first, and that's the one relationship that really matters. And when you prioritize that, everything, honestly, I can tell you it just gets so much better. So that's what we have. 1226,
Well,
1227.
any questions? Does anybody have any questions,
Questions, yeah.
comments?
Does anybody want to share anything? Any questions for either Joan or myself? If not, that's okay. Okay. So if there are no other questions, we will definitely send out the slides. You'll be getting an email from Joan and myself, and also with access to the replay as well.
Mhm.
And we look forward to, hearing from you. You're welcome, Jackie. We're so glad that you were able to be here. All right. Well, it's a sunny Saturday. I'm going to get out there and enjoy it. I hope you all do too. And thank you so much for being here with us, really. Showing up is such an important step in your own journey. You're welcome, Marilyn. It's good to see you. All right. Bye,
Mhm.
everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.